So I say that you open for a lot of artists.
Yes.
You play set in clubs and bigger venues.
Yeah, well, I mean, my home club is First Avenue. That's where,
Yeah.
Purple Rain was filmed. As a matter of fact, right after this, I have to start prepping. I'll be interviewing Tim Burgess of the
Mm.
Charlatans, doing it in store at the Electric Fetus record store here.
Oh,
He's in
fun.
town next week, and I'm opening for Ride and the Charlatans on this latest tour. So,
Yeah, I'm
uh,
two
huge.
weeks from now. I'm going to that.
Oh, you're going to that one, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
a massive Anglophile,
Right.
huge Anglophile. So that's like, that's cream of the crop for me when I get to team up with, people that I really admire music wise. And I can thank the Beatles and Duran Duran for that, for sure. Those were my
Yeah.
two.
So what? Okay, I guess I have two questions. But let me talk about the prep that you're talking about. So if you're opening for Charlatans and Ride, what goes into prepping for? You get like a 30-minute set. How?
Yeah, so usually what happens, and hopefully I'll be doing the same for Jerry Harrison and Adrian Blue when they're going to be doing
Mhm.
that Remain in Light album. Might be doing it for Rick Springfield just because I like me some power pop.
How
Um,
fun.
yeah, so whenever artists within the transmission world come to town, I'll like throw my name into the hat to try to team up with them. And that's how I get to meet my heroes, really, because after the show, I'll go into the green room and introduce myself. And sometimes they'll be like, wow, you're the guy that was playing the music. That's awesome. One of the that really happened where it meant a ton to me when Colin Blunstone and Rod Argent of the Zombies, I did it for them, and they were like, every song you played, man, we were in the back just listening, and we were just like, this is just awesome. And uh, like to me, that's like the highest praise I can get as a DJ, knowing like the artists that I'm inspired by are really grooving on what I'm doing. Um, what I like to play, I don't want to tell like the secret sauce, but
But,
uh, I
but
don't know.
yeah,
Go ahead.
but yeah, like what do you put? Clearly, people who are going to the Zombies are slightly older than those going to Charlatans. Do you take
Mhm.
that into effect, or is it just the time of day, what's going on in the city of Minnesota, or I mean, what I,
Well, I've worked for 5 record stores, 5 radio stations, 3 record labels. I've been a DJ for 30 years, so music has been my life forever. So I know music, and I know music outside of just rock too, like R&B and hip hop. And working at a record store, you have to know these things. Um, but so it's I don't know. I mean, my wife thinks it's like overboard, right? It's like you're obsessed of this stuff, but I'd rather be obsessed with music than other things that are not healthy. I many times I will play uh influences of artists. That's kind of like where I start. Okay, what bands and artists were these artists influenced by?
Mhm.
Who were they influenced by? Because it's not only to build the vibe and an atmosphere within a club setting before the main curtain opens up and the bands and artists take the stage. It's also wanting to impress the artists themselves, because
Mhm.
they can hear what I'm playing. It's not like it's a stadium. Although my first gig back last year, this was wild. Um, because I do a lot of yacht rock events in town, and I also do Camaro rock. And so my first gig back post, when the world was opening up and people were going out again, my first gig back was a big one. It was at a stadium, an arena at the XL Energy Center downtown St. Paul, bringing Toto and Journey to the stage, which was like, never would have seen that one coming, but they asked if I'd be interested. I'm like, hell yeah. It's wild.
I I can't see why not. So I mean, a love of music would allow you to do it right, do
Yeah.
right by them.
Yep. And you throw on Cheap Trick's Surrender and that gets an arena going right there. That was
Right. So was it arena? Because you're thinking, I'm sure it's an arena. It's got to be big. The music.
Oh yeah, there was tens of thousands, and I felt more awkward than I ever have in my life because I'm not flipping platters. I mean, I learned how to DJ on vinyl back in the '90s, but I had a laptop, and I asked them, please, don't put me on the stage. If anything, just keep me off the side of the stage because I'm just standing there behind a laptop. There's no show, and they're like, no, they want you. In the middle of the stage with the spotlight on you. And I was like, oh my God. So, I'm the guy that's trying to right. And I'm so not that kind of DJ. I'm not let's do it. That's not me. I let the music do the work.
A Mickey Mouse head maybe or something. You got to,
I got on the microphone and I'm just like, hey, who's ready for Journey? I did one of those things, but
he's about to take the stage.
Yeah, right. One of those. So Cheap Trick, Surrender, you had to do the bombastic, more or less classic rock. I think I did Just What I Needed by the Cars, things that people love singing along to,
Yeah.
So.
All right.
It does. When you think about it, as avid concert goers, it makes all the difference in the world. The music you're hearing before, and
Yes, thank you for saying that. And I think more and more clubs and promoters and artists are realizing that. For the longest time, it's like the sound guy would just throw on like an iPod, and it would just be like there'd be no energy, and it would be boring, and people are just standing around waiting for the artist to take the stage. But when I do a gig, I'm playing music or music videos, and people are just like, oh my God, you can see lots of head bobbing. And then all of a sudden I'll put on a song and then there'll be like cheers for recorded music, so it's really getting them amped up. And by the time the screen raises up, they're like, let's do this, and there's nothing better. That's actually my favorite thing to do, as for all the different facets of my job, being able to bring, my favorite artists and bands to the stage is what I love doing.
That's great. Yeah. I saw Harry Styles a while ago, and they played Bohemian Rhapsody, and these kids, they're teenagers. They knew the song, and it became like part of the pre-show. Like everyone was singing along, and it really set the tone for the whole evening. I mean, of course, everyone was all ramped up because Harry's going to take the stage, but this was.
Yeah. Was there a lot of screaming that night?
Oh, yes. For me, yes.
Yeah, the moms.
No. Just from me. I mean, that's
yeah.
But on the flip side, there's been music that you've heard pre-show that you've gone, did the band sanction this? So it really it makes a huge difference.
Right. It does.
Oh, and conversely, I saw Bob Dylan last year, and they you put your cell phone in a bag that you it's sealed, so no cell phones or anything. And then you sit in your seat, and there is no music. You just sat in my seat for like half an hour, like, okay, all right, it's coming. But you just go quietly, hands folded. All right, Bob's about to take the stage, and okay, 25 minutes. All right.